here. Today I am going to attempt to make my daughter a granny blanket cardigan with a blanket that I thrifted for her around 6 months ago. Well, November, December, January, February, March, 5 months ago. I found this blanket in a thrift store, I would say halfway on my way to visit her. She lives in Bellingham, and it's like an hour and a half to 2 hour drive from Seattle. And I stopped one day and found this one for $2.99, and I was just in love with it. I bought it just in case she will love it, and she actually loved it right away. I thought the colors will be too kiddish, and because it has mauve and a burgundy red and then pink in the middle, and she loved it. We have been looking for granny squares blankets for a while, just because she have seen cardigan or a jacket that she loved. I think it was a Free People or something like that. It was uber expensive. Some of the basics. This is really long but not as tall, so it's just like a really long rectangle. When I bought it, I brought it home, and I washed it twice in a delicate cycle, and I took all the fussy kind of balls out with scissors. And I know you can do it differently, but I didn't want to shave it with a razor or use anything. I just wanted it to control it, so that's why I did it by hand, and it looks really good, especially the outside. My daughter wants to keep the edge, which is the thing that is throwing me out a lot, but I am going to try my best to keep it. I'm going to do something fit-wise just like this one. This is her little jean jacket, and she used it a lot. She's quite petite that I am. She's not here. She's on a trip. She's on her spring break vacation, but I want to try to mimic this fit and style. It's a little oversized, and I was worried that this blanket will not lay and look just like this jacket, just because this is quilted and it's lined. This is not going to be quilted or you're gonna have any lining. She doesn't want any lining, so we're gonna finish the edge with bias binding that I'm going to make. And pattern wise, I was thinking about the tamarack jacket, or I also thought about this vintage from, I think it's one from 1979. 1979 McCall's. I found this in a thrifting as well. I think I paid like 50 cents for it, and is McCall's 6754. It's not her size. It's for a 32 bust, but I think this is a good also a good starting point, because if you see here, we have a lot of square edges, and then also it used a lot of bias binding, so I may need to adjust it to make it her size or make it pretty much like this fit. So this is what I'm gonna do. I prep my blanket, and I am going to go ahead and prep the pattern, and I'm going to show you guys what I end up doing. That is just this fit, probably a little bit less oversized and boxy, and just start with the cutting into an old vintage granny square blanket. Don't come for me, come for my daughter. It's not mine. Yeah, it's hers. I think it's a great idea. You know, it's a great idea, but at the same time, it just feels like it's a sin. But let's pray it comes out great. I started this project by cleaning my craft room and clearing the cutting table, getting all the junk out and having kind of like a clean surface. Then I started working with the blanket, and I tried the several patterns that I talked about, but none were my favorite pretty much, so I decided to scratch the patterns and just make my own. So I decided to take measurements from that jacket that she loved as inspiration, and here I'm trying the blanket on top, and it was perfect match. I was debating if to keep the edge right on the neck and do a very square kind of design, but then I decided to do a little bit of a design and round the neck and have a drop shoulder. So that's what you see me cutting here. Here I'm adding all the information to the pattern just in case I want to use this pattern for a later use or a later project. And after trying this on my body, I was not impressed. I wanted a little bit more slope on that shoulder. So I decided to add more of this interfacing that you can use to make patterns. And I raised the shoulder right on the neck 1 more inch for more of a slope. After adding that inch, I was happy, and I proceeded to do the back, which I didn't record. Here I am matching my seams, very important, matching the shoulder, they match perfectly, and the same for the side seams. After that, I was pretty much done and ready to cut into my blanket. I mean, are you impressed? I was definitely impressed that that matched perfectly. Look at my face. I'm like, anyway, now to the difficult task of pinning. And then I decided to trace with a erasable marker. And then I went with my machine and I traced that line with a straight stitch and then 1/8 out another line, just so I don't have any unraveling of the stitches. Okay, that felt like it took forever. It did, actually. Sorry, my husband is having a conference call and he's monitoring it, or he's deleting it. It took forever. I did 2 rows. I did the outside edge, and then I went in 1/8 of an inch, like I said. It took forever, but I feel more confident to cut into it and it will not unravel. So I'm gonna cut one piece, pass it through my serger, and then keep on cutting so I don't let the edges hang, you know, loose for a long time, which I don't think it will matter, but you know what I mean. Let's get into the cutting. Oh my god, I've been dreading this forever. Okay, I'll start complaining. So here I am cutting, finally, after months, cutting the blanket. It was a little intense, that was really bulky, but I was able to separate the pieces, the 2 fronts and then the back, successfully. After I finish that, I move to my serger and I serge right away all those raw edges just to, again, prevent fraying. And after that, I pinned it and I tried on my body. After getting stabbed with the pins, I decided that I loved the fit. So here I am reinforcing those seams right on the shoulder and going really slow. I did a seam allowance of 1/2 inch. By now, I decided to try it on my body, and I mean, I was seriously having all the feels here. It looks amazing. Okay, I may I didn't think this through, and I didn't take in consideration that I needed to lift the shoulder cap here. So we will have to do pretty much like kimono-like sleeves, so pretty much just like a square, and it's gonna go from 6 squares to 2 squares, and I will not be able to make the sleeve cap kind of thing here. And I can I can have them skinny, but they will be really skinny. So I think I'm gonna just go ahead and have them all the way here instead of not having anything. She pointed out right away, she was like, you're not gonna have enough. And I was like, oh yeah, I will have enough. I don't have enough. Anyway, I prefer to have them really pretty and short, like 3/4 length, and then have enough for the border of the neck than not having a full sleeve. So let's do that. But I'm gonna go on a walk. I need to breathe some fresh air and then come back with a fresh mindset, or maybe tomorrow. I think it's gonna be tomorrow. Plot twist, I decided to finish my seams with some bias binding. So I went to my local fabric store and I got this amazing quilting cotton. I washed it and here I am just ironing it just to get it crisp and ready to be cut. I'm gonna do a continuous bias binding, and I'm gonna link a video on the description box so you can follow a more in-depth and better explained video. But pretty much I folded a piece of fabric just to have a perfect square, and now I am cutting the excess from the fabric after being folded. So after you square your squares, if that is a thing, you're going to fold it one more time to make a triangle. In that folded edge, you're going to cut to make equal size triangles. That makes sense? I'm telling you, I'm gonna link a video because I am the worst at explaining this, but I wanted to give you guys a visual of me doing the binding. This is where the magic starts. You're going to have right side spacing, and you're going to do a very thin seam allowance. I did 1/4 inch, and you're going to have this shape, and I'm going to show you my seams here. I open those seams and I iron it so I have a very flat seam. Now is where the magic happens. You're going to decide how wide you want your bias binding to be, and you're going to trace your lines in a continuous pattern. So here I decided I was going to do 1 inch, and I'm going and moving that ruler 1 inch, and I'm going to have a bunch of lines, and you're going to see that very, very soon. I apologize, this was out of frame, but I am matching my seams, and I'm running again 1/4 inch seam allowance, and you're gonna see here the sides are hanging. You want that to look like that. If not, you're gonna have circles instead of the continuous bias binding. And now I'm gonna be very careful just to cut this not catching the bottom piece. I have done that before. And out of this piece, which is pretty much was 1/4 yard, I got 8 yards of binding, which, you know, if you buy that, it's gonna be way expensive. I decided to take the sleeve dilemma out of this video because it was long, but I pretty much didn't have enough to make a proper sleeve with a sleeve cap. So I took the measurement out of the sleeve opening and I cut a piece of the blanket as wide as that, but then I didn't have too much of a style, and here I'm taking quite a lot from the wrist area.
and I think it ended up from being from 5 squares to 3 squares, so I took quite a lot out. Here I stitch, and I took I just trying it on before I cut and see if, you know, it's preferred to try before you cut it, and I mean that looks really good, and I kept the edge, you know. So what I'm doing right now, I am adding the bias binding. I made it a little wider than before, and instead of doing each seam separately, I decided to sandwich both of the seams together after serging, and just embrace the bulk because it was super bulky. Now I am going to attach the sleeve to the cardigan body, and I decided to switch my foot to a walking foot, and it was, I mean, night and day. Final fit. Let's see how it looks. I think you know, don't look at my working jumpsuit. I wear this whenever I'm cleaning, and I mean, I did it. It looks amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay, yes. Mission accomplished.
Okay, body is done. Hold on. And now the last part, which is the one that's stressing me out the most, which is adding this itty bitty piece of pretty much edge to the neck. I want to have okay, so let me put this on so you know. Let me show you. So I have two options. My edge can come in, right? Can come in and then just end in kind of a square edge, or I can have it come in and then blend in a way to the rest of the continuous one that goes down, and we have kind of like a rounded, more, I would say, like varsity jacket kind of finish. I think I'm inclining to that because I don't think I have, I need to see what I have. So pretty much this piece that I got from one of the sleeves, I can use right from the middle, and it will end right here. I can do both. I can do the square, or I can do the blend in and rounded edge. What I don't know if I'm gonna have enough, and I think I will have enough. Let's see. I will have enough. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and serge, detach all this from the edge that I need, and then do a French seam on the back, and it's gonna be, I don't know if I should just do kind of like a rolled, I think I'm gonna do that, rolled in, and then have them attached by hand in the back, and that way it will be more secure. Anyway, let me just serge, and I think this is gonna be the last part.
So I took those edges and I ran a zigzag and then a straight stitch before I rolled them, and I ended up attaching those together by hand. It was an extra step, but you cannot see any stitches on the outside. You can see them on the inside. Now I'm basting like a profesh, you know, just to prevent anything from moving. Here I am attaching those itty bitty pieces that are going to be my neck into the bodies of this cardigan. Here I'm inspecting my neck, and I like it. I just stay stitch that neck, and then I finish where the both of the edges meet. I finish that really well by hand. Now I'm pressing it on my steam press just to take away some of the bulk and being very careful not to melt, you know, the cardigan, because, you know, Mary Lisa can do that. After that, I encase the raw edges with bias binding, and again I finished this by hand, the entire thing. I didn't use the machine at all. I didn't want anybody to see this from any corner. You know, I'm just doing like a very professional job as well. And after that, my friends, it's done. Here's in all its glory. I am super happy, and it looks so good. I'm not kidding. It looks intentional. Look at those seams. I mean, like, hello, looks so good. I am so happy that I was able to keep the edge and not re-crochet anything. That's the inside, if you can see. It looks way better than before. And that, my friends, is my thrift flipped. $3, $2.99. I am done. Like, I need a shower, I need makeup, I need food. But first, I'm going to clean this room because it's a mess, and I'm going to present the cardigan to my daughter. I hope she likes it. Let's see her reaction to it, if she loves it. Do you think she loved it?
And it's glory. Just open or lift your arms and then turn around. Oh Lord, I love it.